In Photoshop, I have a photo opened up that I took at the office real quick. I wasn't able to use the stage that I usually use in the background, so I just threw a white sheet of paper behind it on the wall there, as you can see. So I'm going to take you through a process. I'll show you the finished image. So how do I get a photo like this one to look like this, which is ready to use for websites, for magazine ads, magazine cover, things of that nature. So I'm going to take you through something very similar and show you what I would normally do. So after opening the photo, it was a raw file, so I messed with the settings just a little bit and I opened it up here in Photoshop. I would duplicate the layer and just save a copy of the original just in case anything would go wrong or I would mess up the image, which there's not really. I'm going to use layer masks and things like that, so there's not much that I'm going to mess up here, but just in case, I always just keep an original file and hide it. So the first thing I'm going to do is kind of look at my photo and assess what is my goal here, what am I trying to do. And for this one I want a completely white background, very simple, and it's not going to be white because this magazine cover is super white compared to the backdrop there, which is kind of a gray tone. So I want more of a grayish background to really make this arm pop out and this magazine. So I'm going to create a new layer, drag it underneath the photo, and I'm going to get the eyedropper here and just sample this grayish tone somewhere, and then just fill that layer up. And now I'm going to go on to the photo layer and create a layer mask. And this is normally how I would do this. There's many different ways to do this, but I would just do this real quickly, get as much of that background out that I could. So use a big brush, and since it's a layer mask, I'm not too concerned, if I erase some of the arm like that, or it's not that big of a deal because I can just paint it back in. I can change the color to white, and now I can paint the arm back in real easily. So don't be too afraid with that when using layer masks. So with this, I kind of want the wheelchair out of the image. I just want it to be about the arm. So taking out the power wheelchair and kind of its components. Normally sometimes you do want the chair in the photo, but this time I just want it to be a plain background, just for simplicity's sake. And now you can see here some of the gray down here around this magazine isn't matching the background. I'll show you how to fix that in just a minute, or how I would go about fixing it. So I just get as close as I possibly can. Really, if you want to, you can use the pen tool and just outline all around this thing, make a selection. But what I would probably normally do is get it real close in here and be real careful on these edges and make sure that I'm erasing up to the edges, or painting the layer mask up to these edges. And you can actually, if you're doing something like this that's kind of the same color, I can change the color of the background, make it black or white or something, so I can see more of what I'm doing. So I would go all the way around the edge doing this. I'm not going to take up too much of your time here, but I'm just showing you something that I would do. When working this in real time, I would just go around the edge here and clean it up as best as I could and get it real clean. But for the sake of this video, I'm just going to quickly do, just quickly go around it. But with your project, take as much time as you want, whatever product you're using, whether it's if you're doing something for a cell phone or something for a laptop or any kind of product, or, it just depends. So anyway, I'm not going to do that too much, but you guys will get the idea here. So you go around and mask out completely around the magazine, around the arm. So something like that. And now actually this darker color where the background behind the magazine doesn't match, kind of erased it out, but you can see here it doesn't really match this main background. So what I can do is create a new layer, and I'm going to use the eyedropper and match that color, and then make sure that my hardness is all the way down. I can even turn the opacity down a little bit, but no need right now. And now I'm underneath the picture, so I'm just going to match that color. So there you can see, just got rid of that. Here, it's more, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about down here in this corner. This little patch, dark patch, I can click that, select that color, and then paint that in. So now it looks like a little bit of shadowing, and it really pops the magazine out, and it's more blended. So anywhere around the magazine I can do this, and I can darken it up a little bit, and then you can see where the color is incorrect, and fix that. So something like that. And then I don't want this seeing where the arm mounts onto the chair. I kind of want to blend that out so that I can use this anywhere. I can cut this off. I can add text in the top corner or in the bottom right corner down here. So what I'm going to do is I can mask this out if I want, but for now I think I'm just going to, since I'm using a background color, I'm going to take this background color, and I made a new layer on top of the image, or above the image, and I'm just going to mask that out real quick. So that's one way you can do it as well. And you can turn the opacity down a little bit as you work up higher, and then you'll get more of a blended out look, something like that. So something like that, it's looking closer to what I have here. There's a little more shadowing and things going on, a little more subtlety on this one. So what I'm going to do, what I can do is duplicate the image layer, and now I can add some effects to this. So blending options, and I'm going to add an inner shadow. And see, you can tell where I didn't really mask it out all the way, and that's why it's important to mask it out. I just don't have the time right now. I don't want to take up all your time on the video. So I'll show you just kind of some of the settings that I did. So I did an inner shadow, and you can see the difference here. It's hard to tell a difference on this one. Let me bring you over to the finished one, and I can show you the inner shadow and the difference that it makes. So down here underneath where there's shadowing already, and along the arm, when I did an inner shadow, it just kind of heightens that shadowing. I also did a drop shadow, which is on this layer. So there's a drop shadow here, real subtle underneath it. You want to make sure, like a drop shadow or some kind of inner shadow, anything like that, the opacity is between 20 and 30 most of the time. It's a really subtle effect. You don't want it to be really dark like that. It depends on what you're going for, but for the most part, you just want it really subtle. Otherwise, people really see it and take note, and then you can see kind of the outline here. That's kind of not what we're going for. So we want to minimize that, and doing it that way. And you can see I also did, this is very subtle as well, I did an inner glow. And this inner glow is more pronounced on the arm up here. Actually, all the way around the arm I did an inner glow, so it kind of just shows like it gives the effect of like reflected light kind of going on the arm there. A little bit on the magazine as well. It knocks down some of those shadowing, which may or may not be necessary. So that's kind of just how I finished it up. I just did some of that subtle work and worked a little bit on blending this out here. And now the photo, I can use this on a magazine cover. I can put the logo up here in the top corner. I can add some text. Let me show you what I can do. Text here. So I mean, there's a lot of different things that can be done. It just depends on what you're going for and what your assignment is, or you know, text can be up here. It can also be down here in this corner when you have it on the right layer. So I can put text down here, smaller text, and it can also be cropped however you need it to be cropped. I can crop it more of a rectangular crop for magazine covers or a web design layout or any kind of layout that would need a rectangular layout, more of a portrait layout instead of a landscape orientation. So hope that makes sense. Hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it opened your eyes to a few things. Just showing you kind of how I go about things. I do this on a daily basis of just making product images look appealing, and kind of taking a photo like this. It's not even really a studio photo. There wasn't enough lighting going on. I didn't have a lot of light, so I just had to do with what I could, and that's kind of how I would bring something to life, and make it usable in the real world. So whether it's online or in a magazine or print, etc. So anyway, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you wish to see more. And if you have any questions, post them down below. Thanks for watching. Peace.